Night Yoga and Wellness Coach, and I am here at Golden Poppy Herbal Apothecary with Sarah Josey. She is the owner and founder, also nutritionist and herbalist. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how this all got started, this gorgeous, cute little place, and some things that you can do with herbs for depression, which is very common nowadays, unfortunately. So, to start, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
We are glad to have you. I guess we're in your space. Beautiful herbs.
Yes.
So, what really made you decide to make this place come to life?
Yeah, so I went to herb school in Boulder after having lived here in Fort Collins for several years, and it was really just this overwhelming feeling somewhere in the middle of herb school. I just kept thinking to myself, there's no place in Fort Collins where people can go to get herbs. I mean, I know there are people in Fort Collins who want to use herbs or who would want to use herbs if they had access to it. So I just really had this sense that it was something that needed to happen and might as well be me. So that's what I've done.
Very nice. Yeah, I definitely, I've had to go online, like when I was getting herbs and stuff, so we're glad to have you here in town.
Yeah.
So yeah, could you tell us a little bit about, though, what can be done for depression instead of using, or maybe along with, other treatments?
Sure. So depression is it's a very common issue, especially among women, and more people take medications for depression than I think a lot of people realize, because I mean, it's not something we really want to talk about necessarily if we did. So, you know, usually when I'm sitting down in consultation with someone who has depression, I always start with their diet, first of all. I am an herbalist and a nutritionist, so both are really foundational for me. And a lot of times, people's diet is a really big factor in why they don't feel good all the time. So that's always where I start. But then I always adjunct that with herbs. And there are some herbs that people who are on medications can take, and there are some that people who are on medications for depression that they can't take. So that's something that's really important about this specific topic and people trying to self-medicate with herbs is that there can be a lot of contraindications. Even though herbs are generally safe, especially compared to pharmaceuticals, if you're on any kind of pharmaceutical, the herb can interact in such strange and unpredictable ways that it can be quite dangerous. So,
and there are definitely different levels of depression. So
there are.
There could be somebody out there who isn't on medication.
Right.
And so like they could come here and really just start with a whole clean plate and really start working with the herbs. And what would you recommend maybe as a starter herb for them?
I think one of my favorite starter herbs for anybody who's experiencing any level of depression would be lemon balm. And its Latin name is Melissa. And I guess I have a hard time describing lemon balm other than the fact that it's a happy herb. It's got this light lemony scent. It's really uplifting. They're actually starting to do studies now about lemon balm's effect on uplifting the mood. The thing that's really nice about it is a really gentle herb. It's safe for kids, so it's really mild, good for pretty much anybody. And it's, yeah, I don't know. It's my favorite starter herb would be lemon balm. It's really brightening.
Yeah, for sure. I work with that as an essential oil a lot, and that's really same thing, very uplifting.
Yeah.
So okay, and then what would you say then if somebody came in and they were on medications? How would you work with them to make sure that those herbs didn't have the contraindications?
Yeah, so I have a few databases that I look at. So anybody who's on any kind of medication, I will plug in their medication, and then I will plug in some of the herbs that I'm thinking about for them, and it will check, and it will pop up, and it'll tell me if there's an indication, a contraindication between the drug and the herb. I also just know, like St. John's wort is one of the most well-known herbs for depression. It is very effective. They have clinical studies documenting its effectiveness. It's usually done on concentrated extracts and not the whole plant, so it's slightly different, but that herb almost guaranteed will interact with any kind of antidepressant medication.
Okay. So really, watch out, don't put those two together.
Yeah, so especially don't go out and take capsules of St. John's wort, because those are going to be even more concentrated than just drinking it as a tea. So I usually know that that's not going to work for someone who's on medication. I always check because it is a very powerful and wonderful herb for depression, but at the same time I pretty much know it's not going to happen.
Right, yeah, no, that's really good to know.
Yeah.
Is there any other herb that you think just kind of like really good that would work with depression?
Yeah, holy basil is another one that is also very uplifting. It increases circulation to the brain, so I think that can help a lot of times. There's they're doing studies on holy basil as well. I always talk about studies, but I feel like people want to know these things. It can't just be, oh, well, I've taken this and this is how it makes me feel. And it's nice to have the scientific backing. But holy basil is another one that's really uplifting and supportive to the mood.
And do you think even as a tea?
Definitely as a tea. Tea is my favorite way to drink or to take most herbs, tincture being second, because the taste is really important. And you also, like the essential oils you mentioned, have a big effect as to why the plants are working. And so making that cup of tea, you're going to get the smell of those plants as well, so you're going to be affecting your system before you even drink the tea. And you're going to be getting more of the whole plant than when you take it in the capsule. If you don't taste it when you take it in the capsule, so it hits your stomach and your body says, oh wait, what's this? We didn't know anything came in here. Whereas the whole process of making a cup of tea is also a really lovely little ritual for self-care, which can be really important for depression as well.
For sure. So it kind of like taking care of yourself, slowing down, being present, and drinking the tea.
Definitely.
Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing all of this information. Make sure don't take that St. John's wort if you're on medication already. And what do you have coming up here?
Yeah, so at the store we have a few things happening. We're going to be at the Sustainable Living Fair. We also are going to be at the Seed to Sprout Fair in October, which is a festival geared towards parenting. Then we also have some classes coming up. Our next class is going to be a plant walk at the Spring Creek Gardens. And we have a canine feline nutrition class. Ooh. Pets need love too. And then we have our Introduction to Herbal Medicine class coming up in October. It's kind of a good starter class, a really foundational place for sure. Anybody interested in herbal medicine.
So what was it the foundation class was on?
That's on October 10th.
October 10th.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for letting me come here and interview you. And it's so cute in here.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime. So.
I will see you guys next time. Bye.